Today, I wanted to bring my intervention to you. Throughout these days, I noticed that my cell phone usage has increased and my movement has decreased. So, coming up with a little intervention, but wanted to tell you what I am doing, in the process of doing, and in the future of doing. What I did is I recognized my target behavior, which is the behavior that I wanted to change, and I wanted to decrease the amount of cell phone usage while increasing more movement. So I wanted to operational define what cell phone usage really meant. So anyone on the street could be able to observe that behavior. So I described the behavior and what does it look like? So what it looks like is if I pick up my cell phone and press any of the buttons to activate the screen. So an example of cell phone usage is when I pick up the cell phone and when my hand presses one of the buttons to activate the screen. Such as that, it activated the screen. Now, an example of just picking up the cell phone is I pick up my cell phone and nothing happens, doesn't count because I didn't activate my cell phone. Okay, it's all about activating and pressing one of the buttons to be able to see the screen. So what I did was, at that point, I'm like, okay, I need to do a functional assessment to be able to collect the data first. So I started on Thursday. I created my ABC chart. The ABC chart is antecedent behavior and consequence. So I documented each time what happened right before the behavior happened. The target behavior was I'd pick up my cell phone, I'd activate the screen, what happened right before that, and then what happened right after that, like after the behavior happened. Then you activate the screen, and then all of a sudden you're on Facebook or you're doing a text. So doing that, what I determined was to be able to see the function of that behavior. And the function of the behavior was escaping demands. And what that means was every time I was doing some computer work or something, I would be like, and then I would go on Facebook or I'd check out an app, and that just keep on checking my phone. Throughout that ABC, when I look at the data too, you can the chart shows the antecedent, which is I was either trying to access an item from my computer and waiting for it, that I would check my cell phone, or I was working on a task that became a little bit more detailed, and then I would escape it, and then I would activate my cell phone. So you can see on this chart, the bar that goes way across is my usage of the times I pick up my Facebook. So Facebook is the number one thing that I've been doing most often. And then you can also see at the bottom is the consequence, and that large line that you see going across it is actually how many times I escape demand. So I'm looking on Facebook right before the behavior of I'm using Facebook more often, and the consequence is escaping the demand, and escaping the demand of completing a task. Okay, so let's find out a little bit more of the intervention that I created. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do data collection, which I already started on Thursday. I'm using an app that collects my cell phone usage. So anytime, it doesn't matter if I have access to the calculator or if I am on another app, Facebook, it calculates my time usage. So I'm using that app, and it's a really pretty cool app. Right here, I'm going to pull it up for you to show. I've been doing the data already. And then I use the data chart on the regular iPad or iPhone app regarding my steps. I'm going to kind of be a little bit embarrassed of the steps that I took today, but right there's my steps. So I already have these apps collecting data for me, and then when I collect that data, all I do is I put it on a chart so that I can already see the comparison. So I'll be doing that. What you can see is with that, when I do the graph, I'm doing 4 days of baseline, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So Monday morning, I'll be able to see my whole baseline of the number of hours spent on using my cell phone, and then you'll be able to see my activity level as far as movement on the baseline. And cell phone usage will be pretty high, while my movement I know is low, and I want that to change. I want my cell phone usage to decrease and then my movement increase, and that's what the graph should be showing if the intervention works. So let's talk a little bit about the intervention that I put into place for me is this. I'm doing this for 30 days, so I'm starting March 23rd, which is tomorrow, and I'm going to go all the way to April 21st. I'm putting together antecedent strategies as well as consequence strategies. So antecedent strategies are going to be, I'm going to be placing my phone more out of view, such as in another room where I'm not doing work. I'm sometimes going to turn off my phone while I'm working on a task or trying to complete an assignment. When I'm waiting to access an item, such as if my computer is taking a very long time, because I have Verizon and it takes a little bit of time, I'm going to get up and go for a walk, take some deep breaths, do a little bit more mindful activities. So just having my phone away from me, I will be able to practice different behaviors. I'm going to be using the PREMAC principle. PREMAC principle is, if I do this, then I can have that. So if I say, if I go walk around the house, then I can have access to my cell phone. Or if I complete this assignment, then I have 5 minutes to play on my cell phone. So I'm going to be using that principle throughout the intervention. I'm going to be using my self-management worksheet that has, okay, for 45 minutes, I set my timer. All I do is work. And then all of a sudden, when the timer goes off, now I have 5 minutes. I can go outside on the patio, or maybe I'll make myself a cup of coffee. Maybe I'll play with the pups for 5 minutes, and then I'll set my timer again for another 45 minutes. So knowing that the function of my behavior was I was escaping demands, this allows me to escape demands on a timely fashion that I have more control over, and really practicing that impulse control of, I'm doing my assignment, I set my timer, then I can escape demands. And I'm allowed to escape demands doing other things. So I do this for 45 minutes, and then I get that. Very, very similar to the PREMAC principle. Some other antecedent strategies is going to be my behavioral contract. So just like I'm going to pretend I am a client and I'm writing this for a client, and I will sign it saying these are the things that I promise to do in my contract. And that's a little antecedent strategy. So it'll be a 30-day challenge to decrease cell phone use while increasing my daily step count. The self-monitoring is very important. The self-monitoring, I have this little book. You can also make it in Excel sheets, but I always like a nice book. I'm going to be doing this tonight, and I'm writing down right here all my movement behaviors. All movement behavior is something that anyone can observe, such as 15 minutes on the elliptical machine, 5-minute walk, 10-minute yoga stretches, 5 minutes on my calf stretcher. So they're all movements. And then when I complete them, this will be like Monday all the way down and Tuesday all the way down. So this is like a self-monitoring sheet, and it makes me a little bit more mindful of my behaviors. I'm also going to be doing the graphs each day. Every morning I wake up, I'll put the information in the graph, and with that graph, I'll be able to monitor my behavior and analyze the intervention if I need to make any changes regarding, like, maybe I need to up my morning ritual. Maybe I need more time putting my cell phone away. So I'll have to be able to analyze and monitor them. So I'm making changes that when I make my goal weekly, I'm reaching them and they're very measurable. My weekly goal I'm setting myself up to is for this upcoming week, I would like to see a decrease of 25% of cell phone usage while increasing my workouts to 25. So that will be in my behavioral book of to go for a 10-minute walk, go on the elliptical for 15 minutes, do your workouts, make my kids videos. I do everything that increases my movement while not being on my cell phone as much. The consequences, strategies that will be in place for me particularly, because it's just me monitoring it, would be just checking off my self-monitoring sheet, being able to do that. And then when I continue to do that, the automatic reinforcer for that will be the physical. And that is what I would be looking for. Now, if this was a client and I had a behavioral contract for them, maybe the reinforcer will look a little different. Like if you work out, you'll get XYZ, or how about you hand me over your favorite CD collection, and each time you reach your weekly goal, I release a CD to you. And each time you do it, you get your CDs back. So that would be something that you would see if this was someone else. But for me particular, it's just going to be that I can cross it out and then get my workouts in. The outcome goals, I'm really looking for 40% decrease cell phone usage and 40% increase of movement in these next 30 days. That's the end goal for the 30. The replacement behavior throughout this intervention was I needed to replace what I was trying to do was escape demands. So I need a replacement behavior to have that same escape demand. So I'm allowed to escape demands, but my escape demand replacement is movement. Instead of using my cell phone, I use the movement. So if criterion is met on my behavioral contract of getting 40% decrease cell phone usage, increase of movement, writing it down, increasing those healthy behaviors, and living more productive lifestyle during these 30 days, and then some, is I'm moving forward to my long-term goals and I'm living the values of who I want to be. And if I don't reach the goals, what do I have to lose of not doing those things is I'm going to really decrease my productivity during these 3 days. And when I'm not doing that stuff, I'm moving away from my long-term goals, short-term goals, and I'm moving away from those values. So this 30 days is I'm moving towards where I want to go. And these are little strategies using the science of applied behavior analysis, using the principles and methods to make sure that these 30 days are the most productive that I can make them. Okay? Thanks for watching.